As you see here on my screen, this e-commerce brand has scaled to $77,738 per month in just the last 30 days at an 11.90x ROAS. And in this video, I want to tell you step by step the exact strategic approach we took to now scale this brand over 83% in revenue in just a 30-day period. Now, more about this brand. This brand is in the automotive industry. It's a brand which sells specifically automotive batteries for cars from a variety of different car models, from Toyota, Honda, so on and so forth. And because it's such a specific niche within a whole category of the automotive industry, the overall search volume surprisingly is on the lower end. But that's exactly why this case study is so special, because it goes to show you that despite having low search volume, your brand can actually be the dominating brand within your industry and within your niche if you just find that one winning approach, which we were able to for this brand. But because of this niche, the brand does have a fairly decent average order value of roughly $401. It's a mid to a high ticket store. Going into the back end, we can see a very interesting thing start to happen within the last 30 days as well, which on the Google Ads side, we see an 83% in revenue increase from the Google Ads platform itself. On the brand level, on the top level, there has been only a 10% increase in terms of the revenue. Why is this? The thing is, for this brand, the moments that they saw some decent traction, some decent revenue coming from Google Ads, what they did is they started to lower their ad spend on other acquisition channels, ranging from meta ads to the SEO strategies they had going on, so on and so forth. So because of that, the overall revenue coming from these other platforms decreased while Google increased within the grand scheme of things. And this is the beautiful thing which so many brands just want to do. They went from having a 3x ROAS, maximum 4x ROAS from these other advertising channels to now having a 11.90x ROAS, about 60 to 70% of this coming from cold traffic. This is the ultimate dream for so many brands, but unfortunately, they're not ever able to achieve any results close to this because of so many factors, ranging from a weak product feed, a weak foundation, to even a strategy which is not made for their brand. Now, the main issue that we noticed when we first started working with this brand and this Google Ads account is 51% of the traffic coming for this brand from Google Ads, which we started working with this brand roughly September 13th. So before that time period, from August 1st to let's say September 11th even, 51% of this ad spend, 51% of this revenue was coming exclusively from brand traffic. And the number one goal that this brand owner had was to diversify their channels and diversify their traffic to go after cold traffic acquisition as well. That's one of the main reasons why within this time period that only spent 7.4K from August 1st to September 11th is because they did not just want to spend more and more money on branded traffic. Their revenue from the cold traffic side of things had become completely stagnant, and the cold traffic ROI was also not growing. In fact, it was in a decline, and the branded traffic was driving up the overall ROI. So with this main issue in mind, we started working this brand through different phases. Now, the different thing that we did for this brand versus the other brands which we scale under my agency or marketing is that we took this brand through 4 different phases. The first phase was the shopping focused phase, which was followed by then phase number 2, which was the strategic campaign side of things for branded traffic versus non-branded traffic. And then after that phase, we went into the efficiency phase, which is phase 3, and finally ending it off with the 4th phase, which is a continuous ongoing process. It's the scaling phase. Now, with the first phase, the shopping approach first, the reason why we actually implemented this phase first, because when we started working with this brand, we actually realized that the major campaigns they had running had no sort of products in them, no shopping feed approach. If you look right here on the left hand side, there's only the asset groups here, but there is no section for products. And that's because they were running this Performance Max campaign approach as a display traffic approach, which means all of the budget was just going towards these asset groups and these different images, logos, etc., which they had running within this PMax. There were no other campaigns going after the products. And we can even see that because when we go on over to the products side of things, first of all, the overall product feed approach was very, very basic. Some of these titles for these products were literally numbers. That's literally it. And it's a number-specific approach for the titles in this situation because it is more on the technical side. However, they had done zero SEO strategies. They had no real implementation of an approach in place for the product feed. And as a result, they were getting basically zero sales from any of these products. I mean, the Tops product during August 1st to September 11th spent $19. And where we now, if we change it to last 30 days, we can see a huge difference. And this is why I always say, if your brand has not cracked Google shopping placements yet, there is no reason for your brand to be on things like search, YouTube, demand gen, discovery, because shopping should be, for 95% of the brands at least, the number one sales generating platform and number one sales generating avenue of growth, which we saw clearly for this brand. So keeping that in mind, we started with a shopping focused approach first, meaning we literally went through the product feed, went through all of the products which essentially this brand sold. And during this time, what we came to realize was not all of the products they had running within the brand needed to be shown because the Google Merchant Center had not been properly optimized and a lot of the products had issues, a lot of them were out of stock, and this was never dealt with because shopping was never part of the entire strategy. But we went through all of the 1,900, 2,000 SKUs this brand had, and the first thing we did was make the product feed stronger with proper product feed titles, which included proper SEO techniques, which included high perceived value, because a lot of these are number-focused product titles. We needed to find a way to stand out, so we added in the words such as premium or luxurious or long-lasting or heavy duty, because that's what made sense for this industry. Second, we worked on the product images. Again, with technical products like these ones, even if you go, for example, on Google Ads and type in any specific keyword related to this product, we can see just how technical things can be. I mean, it's the same exact product image with very similar titles to each other, with some very similar product pricing as well. So then it becomes a matter of a price war. And the first thing we wanted to do was take this brand, place it in more of a premium approach so that it does not have to worry about pricing anymore, because that's essentially what it was doing to try to win more sales with Google. I was always trying to play around with the pricing. So what we did is we focused on the product image side of things and only use the product images, which number one, were the opposite of the competition. So if, for example, everybody had their product laid out in this manner where it's two on the left, two on the right, we made it so that it was laid out in a singular line like this, or maybe in a straight up and down like this, because we want to stand out from the competition. Easiest way to generate a click to get a higher CTRs. Once the product images were dealt with, we then moved on to the Merchant Center. Now, the beautiful thing about this specific industry and this specific niche is on the left-hand side under refined results, there's a variety of different options that you can implement within your Google Merchant Center feed. So for example, if we just type in Fortuner battery right over here, we can get specific ideas of exactly what people are searching for, whether it's a specific brand or whether it's certain types of years that they're looking for, maybe a 2019 Fortuner or 2020, so on and so forth. And that's exactly what we did to add info in the Google Merchant Center feed. So the attributes section is something we took care of for this brand because feed attributes are everything with Google Ads, especially in 2025 and going into 2026 and onwards. But once the first phase was out of the way, the entire foundation from the feed to the conversion tracking even was in place. Then we moved on to the campaign strategies. Now, with the campaign strategies within the first week, we did not want to rock the boat too much, so to speak. So we entered with a very, very simplistic approach for phase number 2, which was the campaign strategy phase. We wanted to go after a branded versus non-branded approach. So we ended up with the 2-1 strategy. This 2-1 strategy essentially says that there should be 2 high buying intent campaigns placed around shopping placement. So in this situation, what we did is we kept this PMAX campaign running, but at the same time, we added this standard shopping campaign to run side by side, because what we noticed is that this PMAX, after we made those feed attribute changes and whatnot, increased the ROI, and this was real numbers at this point, not conversion tracking issues any longer, but it increased it to almost a 10x ROI. So the last thing we wanted to do was just shut this off completely. So what we did, we let it run and we started this standard shopping campaign with all of the products on the side, excluding the brand list. So if we go inside here, what we did is we added some exclusions for the keywords, which many brands don't do. We added essentially a whole negative keyword list for the branded keywords. And this allowed it to be a full-on cold traffic campaign. As you can see in the start, it was not performing up to par. I mean, it was way below the break-even numbers at 2.52x ROAS, but we knew that we needed to give it time and basically optimizations because this brand had never used shopping before. The account literally had zero shopping and product data. So from there, what we did is we also launched this search campaign, which was a generic search campaign going after various different subcategories of products this brand sold, all cold traffic keywords, and all of them were essentially going after a certain dynamic ad group. So as you can see here, we targeted specific categories of products that sell on with a dynamic approach, and one category essentially started to take off. The key here was to essentially use the keywords within the ad copies, which were based around that individual category of product. Ad copy optimizations, very crucial for search campaigns, something I see so many brands miss out on, even those that I audit to this day that are 7- and 8-figure brands under my agency, which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But this 2-1 approach essentially got our foot through the door, and it allowed the campaigns to now run after cold traffic essentially. And flash forward from September 13th to September 30th, what we started to notice was a very, very key change. Finally, number one, standard shopping was starting to take off. It went from a 2.5x ROAS to 11x ROI. The search campaign stayed at an 11x ROAS, and the PMAX campaign's ROI also increased to almost 11x. So because we introduced another avenue of growth, now there were more keywords coming in via standard shopping placements. Everything within the account started to improve overall, and because of this, we were now able to launch a bit more search campaigns. For example, this one was a branded search campaign, which we lowered the bids and budget significantly on, because in the beginning it was 51% branded traffic. Now we had gotten it down to roughly 25% branded traffic. And we changed this to more of a manual bidding approach, because anytime you do smart bidding with any type of branded approaches, it ends up wasting way too much money and overbidding unnecessarily, which is something we wanted to cut out completely. And because the results were so good at this point, we were at 11.34x ROAS and things were actually starting to kick off. Now we could allocate more of the budget towards testing. So these campaigns were recently launched during that time, but it was basically a search campaign going after testing different dynamic placements as well as competitors within the search campaign, directly targeting with broad match. Nowadays, with search campaigns, what we notice is broad match works the best, especially with low search volume niches like this one right here. That essentially brought us to phase 3. Things were working. Now it was time for efficiency, for optimizations. For the entirety of this time period from September 13th to essentially October 21st, we did not focus anymore on adding stuff. Now it was about subtracting stuff. What wasn't working, any bad products, any bad ad copies, any bad keywords, we essentially got to work getting rid of them completely. This is where most brands don't realize how important it is, because all they do is after they see something that's working, even small, in a small manner, they just go all crazy after the budget increases. And although vertical scaling is essential for growing long term, you do not want to jump to that phase before you get through the optimization phase, and as I like to call the horizontal phase. Because what we did during this time is we devoured the insight section, went deep into it to understand everything from the demographic we were now targeting, the age ranges of the people, whether it was females versus males more, and we also essentially understood who our competition was, what they were doing better, and especially what they were not doing, because again, with Google, it's more about doing what your competition isn't doing if you want to stand out. And then most important of all, going into the keyword section to ensure that the keywords we were now ranking for were more of the broader type and they had search volume for them. So what we noticed is majority of these keywords still had lower search volume, but now we were getting more and more keywords which we were not ranking for before, especially because we worked on the product feed initially and we made it a lot stronger. But with all of these things, we were just optimizing every 7 to 14 days in the back end, improving the product titles even further, the landing page experience, Google Merchant Center, feed attributes, all of these things can be improved just via the keyword section, essentially adding what's working and subtracting what's not working. And that brought us to then phase number 4, which is the scaling phase, which is what we have been doing in the last 14 days, essentially vertical scaling, because at this point we have a very, very solid structure, which we know works. Now it's not about adding more stuff, it's about increasing the budgets and the ad spend, because a lot of these are limited by budget already. And this is the beautiful thing, because doing phase 1 to phase 3 allowed us to not only increase our market share within the market, but also to now end up ranking for even bigger and bigger keywords, which can drive more sales. And the beautiful thing about this is at this point, our search impression share actually decreased, which is a good thing because that means we increased the market share from just going after branded traffic to now having a market share so big that we're a very, very small fish in the ponds. And now we can actually increase the budgets rapidly going into Q4 and then actually take a larger portion of market share, which is the ultimate goal for this brand. But vertical scaling now at this point, it's as simple as every 3 to 5 days going in, increasing the budgets by 20 to 25% max. And then if it's profitable, lowering the restrictions to allow it to even expand more, go after bigger and broader audiences. That's essentially the base strategy we're using here, keeping things very simple, because for technical niches like this, the last thing you want to do is add too much creativity and too much turmoil, because that's when things really start to go down and that's when the algorithm starts to get too confused. But if you run a brand making 50K or more per month in revenue, you want to scale to the next level with Google Ads, just like we did here, go on my website at euromarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.